great Northeast, the hometown of your boy here. We are headed up to actually a Northeast Philadelphia Keller Williams office. So we have good colleagues up there, good partners up there, and they're hosting a top agent mastermind. So they asked me to come in and kind of facilitate and host the mastermind. So it's great because, you know, my mother still lives up here. I have a ton of friends, ton of family. I know the market really well. So I love coming back and, you know, just kind of getting involved, having conversations and, you know, bringing a little energy and action to the room. So it should be exciting. Happy for you guys to be on board and tune along with us here. So let's get rolling. Not much. Are you interviewing me?
Oh, no.
Oh. Not much. Like, no, probably like once a year, maybe, even if that. I'm always a gentleman, even on camera.
Good, how are you?
Hi, how are you? Jim Roche for Adam for Mastermind. How's everybody doing? I'm starting in a chair because you'll see me, I'm like a pinball, so I'm bouncing around here. So this keeps me a little bit grounded. But thank you guys for having me here. I was just catching up with Joe, Cunningham back there. And so I was born and raised in the Northeast. My mom still lives right up on Green Mountain Road. So I was born and raised in this area. I know a lot about this area, still have a ton of family, a ton of friends. So for me, my career kind of started up here a little bit and transitioned down into Center City, and it's always really been down there. But for me, it's great to come back up here and, you know, mastermind and, you know, share ideas, you know, talk and, you know, bring value to you guys. Really, that's my top goal. As Adam said, I'll give a little backstory just so you guys can kind of understand, you know, where I'm at and what you can lean into. So I was licensed basically about 10 years ago. I was a part-time agent, working full-time job, you know, working a mundane 9 to 5. I'm sure majority of us here were probably there at some point, right? Worked as a part-time agent. I always say I was working basically 18-hour days for basically 18 months. Had no kids, no family, anything like that. I have a screen protector, so you might not be able to see it. But wife told me, hey, little guy's on the way, changed my life, changed my perspective, everything. I knew I wanted to be a business owner, always knew I wanted to be a business owner, always wanted to be an entrepreneur. But for myself, I know I needed to lay out the path to really start building a life by design. Like, you know, building a business that doesn't just, you know, isn't just a profitable and a charitable organization, meaning helping other people, but also that to me, meaning personally, to where I wake up excited, motivated, and I don't feel like I go to work every day. And so, you know, I've been full-time in sales for, this is, I think, my 8th or 9th year. I think an 8th year in full-time sales. I started at Coldwell Banker, transitioned to Keller about 6 years ago, launched Jim Roche Real Estate team about 5 years ago. And since that point, we've grown to basically over 60-some agents. We have agents operating in Philadelphia, all throughout the state. We have agents in New Jersey, and also now going through expansion in North Carolina, et cetera. But within that time, what I'm really excited about, what I was really proud of, is we achieved over $1 billion in sales in over 5 years. And I've really been out of production, like mainly for close to about 2.5 of that, meaning everything's been growing through my agents, which is basically exactly the ecosystem and the environment I wanted to build and grow. I'm a big team player. I'm a big team environment. I'm a big culture person. When I was growing my team, I knew I needed to kind of be in that environment and bring my people in. So, you know, as I was growing, I really wanted to build an office, and then really started to take a step into leadership there. So then at that point, slowly started, I still sell, I'm still active, I still do that, but I'm not selling 5 houses, 6 houses a week anymore. You know, I'm selling what it seems like is my family. They're all buying houses right now. So, you know, it's been a big pain in the butt recently, but I'm staying active. I like to do a deal or two a month. Every single one of you guys, especially the top 20%, which I really love working and talking with, You guys are in such a unique position to build that life by design, to build that business by design. So my goal today is to kind of empty out and tell and open up anything I can. I really like bringing value and make sure you guys walk out with things that you actually will put into place. But the biggest thing that I'll tell you is the one thing, I'll sit in front of tons of these rooms and talk about this a lot. The impact and the difference between those who do and those who don't are the ones who come out of here and actually execute. I don't care if you just are tuned out and not listen to me. Take one thing today and put it into your business and approach your education and your training like that, right? Every time you're sitting in the room, it's to make yourself or to take one step better. So the number one and most important thing that I'll tell you all agents and all team leaders and all agents that are looking to join teams what's that one thing? The L word, leads, right? So the other thing that I would tell you is if you don't have a position or you're not in a position to disperse or hand out leads in a consistent level, don't start growing yet. Understand that, because you need to build that into your value proposition, because that's what will help agents get attracted and actually stay attracted and attached to your business, is when you're not only providing them opportunity, but also guidance to help them take that next step up, right? So I see people starting teams all the time. They have no infrastructure. Want to start a team. Well, do you have an assistant? No, I don't have an assistant. Well, what are you offering, right? And you don't need to have an assistant to have a team. I mean, there's so many levers and ways you can run a business these days. I mean, the thing is, it's so much leaner. And what motivates me so much, like why I love doing this, is I've spent millions of dollars growing Rarity Real Estate, like millions of dollars. Everything. I've tried everything and everything. Because for me, that's how I was learning. That's how I was growing. There are tools and resources that are out there now for you and for agents. The accessibility and how easy it is to get VAs and to get leverage and to get support, just little things that you can plug into your team that you may be doing that may be a value or a attractor to somebody else, to be able to make them say, hey, this is me, or for you to say, hey, I have this to offer, let's talk about joining. So the whole thing that I would start with is, number one, when you're looking to build your team, right, think about that. What's your value proposition? What's the mission of the actual group? What's the value you're giving out? And that'll help you start paving the way. When you write out that value proposition, Jose, and if there's not much on there, that split's going to be really, really high if you really want to start that team, because that's how you're going to keep people, right? It might just be your experience. It might be your guidance. People join teams for different reasons, right? For me now, where we are at, when I started growing, my main attractor was myself, in a setting of I was active in the market. I was always in the office, and I also had leads because I was just growing so much, right? So as I grew really quickly because of those two things, and those are two really impactful things to an agent, right? Hey, he's in the office, he's available all the time, I have access, I can see him, I can work elbow to elbow with him. And then B, he's giving me leads, he's giving me opportunities, giving me support. All the other things, administrative support, all the stuff that Marissa did, like, those at the end of the day were staples where our teams were, like what you needed to be a team back then. That it's changed completely. There's people who run teams that are just media-based agents, right? All they do is focus on social media. And so that's what they do. So all they have on their team is they have a VA who handles video and editing. They don't have an administrative assistant, because that's more valuable to them than an actual administrative assistant, right? So I think that's a good lead in, a good starting question, and a good point. But did that answer what you were looking for? Yep. Right now, I would tell you physical contact's winning across the board. Physical contact's winning. And what I mean by that is, I don't mean of course I like getting belly to belly, but actually talking to someone on the phone, picking up and actually taking action. My best agents, the ones that are winning right now, the ones that are winning across the country right now, are the ones that have a schedule, that have a routine, and are doing things consistently. That plain and simple. Like whatever that outbound is, whether it's, hey, Matt's going to pick up and call 10 people in his database today. He's just going to go 26 weeks of pain, starting at A. Every week is the next letter, and you're just going to run through the letters, and you're calling every single person in there just to reconnect with them. The thing is right now is you need, especially when we head into these times. I love the summer and I love the fall. Why? Summer, less competition. Fall, winter, less competition. But what's better about that? What you're doing right now is you're building your spring pipeline, right? Business planning, guys, we need to be done and active and running on it by November 15th. Why? 45 days to close on average. We should be writing our contracts for January 1st on November 16th. Our team, we did our business planning clinic 3 weeks ago. They already have their numbers. By 11/1, they're off and running. Like this year's done. Put something into your business right now. I'm telling you, it'll work. Is it social media? Is it your CRM? Right? These are things that you just need to lean into and just consistently do it, because it's just like real estate. What's every agent do? Close 2 deals, nothing under contract. Close 2 deals, nothing under contract. Why does the average agent stay like this and then leave? Because nothing gets better, because it's themselves, right? But you see the 1%, you see the top 1% of the market go really quickly and just never stop, because they figured out that one thing. They just have to keep doing that consistently. I sit in rooms with all these people, and like they all kind of have superpowers, right? Ken Pozak, right? Media, right? Jeff Glover, coach and training, expireds, big businesses. For me, like I always felt like a little vulnerable. I don't have superpowers. I'm just a kid from Northeast Philly. I don't know how I even got here. But what my superpower was is I just did everything consistently. I always say you'd be shocked by what you can complete and what you can accomplish in what you can accomplish in when you set times and set standards, right? Where are we at? I have something right here. Here you go. This was back when I really kind of got into, this is January 2019. Look at my growth plan that I was at. You guys pass it around and look at it, but you'd be amazed at what you can accomplish. And just to let you know, we're already past 2029's goals 2 years ago. Right? You'd be amazed at what you accomplish when you put your head down and you actually start planning and building towards something. So, that's the thing that for me, that was like the real game changer, was getting grounded, kind of understanding that this it's not a sprint. I want to build a business. That's the biggest word that I think you guys may be able to take out of this, is building the business and thinking of it that way.